Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? We are back. It's Monday morning, back at it, back at the grind. Let's see who's here this morning. We got Superluminal in here, Rabbit's here, Jay's here, Fanny's here, Pack Drip in the streets, Federico, Warley Bird, who we got Sunny in Philadelphia, Coach Stark Holmes, who was at the Suns game this weekend. We saw that on the Twitter space. Joker Rock's here. Borland's here. Ramos is here. The Mr. All-Star 23. Peterman, Vince Beltran, Saint is here. Chef Tivo, Big G Weston, We the People, Perfect Cereal. Dylan Shuck up early this morning. Holla. Nick's here. Veronica's here. Luis is here. JC, I have my 350 trade tickets and spraying and praying. I'm with you, JC Dynasty. I'm looking forward to that too. Mac Attack's here. Saint, we'll get to that. Saint, JJL Smith, Top Shot, Common Man, Sean's here, DJ Local, Matt Barkman with a good question. We'll talk about that in a little bit, Matt. We'll talk about that in a little bit once we get through the good mornings. Homies is here. Eagle Putt, Stubbs, Yachty. Who else? New Swami, Jericho. Who else? We got Thomas Walsh. I think we made it. We caught up, y'all. Hey, I think we're gonna have a guest come on. I think Top Shot Talk, who anytime he doesn't have school, we're going to get him on here. Oh, whoa, I'm not caught up. Look at all these. We got big tickets in here, tea times in here, deep threat. Look at this. That's right. I don't want anyone getting banned on a Monday. Ross is here, TJ, Eric's here, Brian's here. Got my Oculus and my fiber bar, Brian. That's the best way to start. Justin's here, Luke's here, F and Nico, Snoopaloop, the DHR Company, Brian Foster, Breakfast Cereals, Roger, Drunk Tree, Sneaky, Daniel, Jonathan, Alex Nation. We are popping off, y'all. Our Rich, Patrick's here, Dennis is here, Josh is here, Tom Pierce, guys. We got everybody's here. All right, I can't keep up. There's too many people. Milo's here, Daniel's here, Breakfast Cereal's yelling ballers, Heavy Hitter. I see you, Orion. Okay, ready. This is what we're gonna do today. So, last minute pivot. A Top Shot Talk's gonna come hang out for a little while. Just so we'll see what's going on there. We have Series 1 pack drop today. How many people in the chat have 350 tickets? I am not in the live token Discord. Okay. I'm not in the live token Discord. It's just too many Discords. No disrespect to live token, but I'm not in there. So I don't know how many people are lining up. I can't even give you that information. My guess is there's 2,100 people with 350 trade tickets ready to go for 500 packs. That would be my guess, just based on how it's like gone up a little bit each time. But so if anyone's in there, let me know. All right, we got Lloyd's going for it. Who else? Milo, Eric. Oh no, getting there 203. So you're there for the next time. Patrick's there. JC Dynasty. It's 3,000 total. Wow, it's 3,000 total. Okay. Yeah, I think there's a couple of people here with more than 350. Right? I think people are ready to go. Big ticket's due. Big ticket is due. Yeah, anybody confirm that? Is it really 3,000? Is it up to 3? It is 3K. Wow. All right. So what's that percentage wise? 1 in 6? 1 in 6 to get a pack today? It's gonna keep getting harder. Not as hard as this guy though. Look who we got here. Top Shot Talk. What's going on, my man?
How you doing? Oh, I have my mic over there.
What is going on, dude? You know, how do you not have the mic ready?
Oh man. It's my first time doing this. So.
It's almost like you are surprised you're on right now.
I was like, whoa.
How's it going, man?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
A little spring break over here. So.
Oh, you're off all week?
Yeah.
All right. What's the plan? Are we doing like 17 shows this week? What's the plan?
No, got going for a little getaway with the wifey. So.
Oh, there you go. Are you married?
No.
Oh, you guys just call each other husband and wife?
Wow, it's like common law, like it's.
Yeah. What's common law in Canada? Is it just like 9 months?
No, it's like it's like 2 years living in the same house, or you live together and have kids together.
Wow,
so
really?
The day you have a kid and live together, you're considered common law.
I feel like in the United States, they don't trust relationships. It's like 14 years. Like you got to be together for 40% of your life in order for it to count as common law. I'm pretty sure that's it. Not 14 years, but I do think it's like 7. I think it is like a long period of time. All right, man.
And then there's some other rule that you have to like present yourselves as a couple in public. So like roommates can't just be like, we've been living together for 3 years now. Yeah. Give me half your shit.
I like that. So they're like, you need to have created at least one pornographic video together.
Yeah, and posted it.
And posted. Yeah, and posted. Wow. So hey, are you after tickets today?
So I I've always said that like I'm just gonna like try to snipe $1 and like hopefully join maybe like halfway through they're all out, and then like play my luck that way. But then I looked and I was like, I have like 700 moments in my collection. I clearly should have traded these in, but I was busy yesterday, so I didn't.
Yeah. You
And
missed
then I
the
was
window.
like, damn, I should have. But like, I don't know. I still like want to get that cost basis down. But then like, I don't know. What am I going to do with these 60Ks anyway? So
I know. That's what I mean.
I think next one I'll be going after. And I think I'm going to spend some time after this next pack drop, really going after those $1 ones.
Yeah. I mean, if you can do it for what, like, even I feel pretty good going for 2. Like, even when I can get 2, like $2 ones, I'm happy to do it. But after buying all those packs, I was like a third of the way there. You know what I'm saying? So I was ready to go.
Well, that's why I think my account's up to 700 moments there. So maybe I should have been going for this one, but
yeah. Yeah. I think so. What's that? That's at 2:00 today. I think the drop is. The queue opens at 1. And so 3,000 people, 500 packs available. So just, prepare yourself for an L. This is like the old days. Remember when you used to line up in a queue and you'd get a number and that would matter about how many packs you got? It's just like, it's a throwback Monday.
Oh God.
I know. So I guess, what do we have for drops this week? We have the last blended drop this week, which I'm assuming is Thursday. We've got another all day drop on Friday. And did they announce a UFC drop too? I don't know if they've announced an official one. I think there was one like coming, or maybe there is one on.
Is the all day week 14? Like, because last week was week 13. Are they doing like the next week, or they haven't said yet?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they've confirmed that, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see him either every week or every other week moving forward. So again, it's just more shots at the old Dapper wall. I will say though, and here I can share this. Word on the street was the all day market bounced up a little bit. We're using own the moment site over here, official sponsor of all things Team Hold, where you can go for your NFT sports data. It seems like things got a little bit of a boost, which is a good sign. Like you can see most of the sets right here, a bunch of them. Actually, let's do it this way. A bunch of them are in the green. Now, maybe it's because it went so far down. It's like leveling out a little bit. But we'll see. This is the last 20. Actually, let's use 24 hours. Wow, yeah, look at this. The 7-day was like, holy shit.
That was also like, was it open 7 days ago? Like, was that just like when you could only list? So like,
oh, maybe that's true. That's true.
All that like, it was like a weird opening too, right? So
yeah,
like, I wouldn't really look too into it, but I also wasn't someone that was buying or anything. I was just waiting it out. I opened all my packs finally.
Yeah, did you hit anything that was exciting?
Not really. Like a couple wide receiver Top Shot debuts, but like some duplicates of defensive players and stuff like that. So nothing that I think is like too crazy, but like I haven't sold anything yet. But
no.
I have to look into like the circulation counts for those though. Like,
yeah, and that actually goes back to Matt's question earlier. He let me see. It's gonna be a big time. I don't know if I'm gonna find it, Matt, but he's basically talking about like circulation, and how like what's out there. How to would you not buy something based on the circulation? And I mean, it's like it totally depends, right? It totally depends on how badly you want that moment and why you want it, but. That was like why I ended up selling that Patrick Mahomes debut, is because there was 9 of them out there of the, not 9, 80 of them out there of the 899. It's like 9%. I'm like, I don't know, guys. I feel like this is going to go down before it goes up. But yeah, so I would definitely be paying attention to that. And
part of it is like, I think people it's not that clear on the site compared to Top Shot, the packs versus circulation, everything just because it says a moment is in a pack does not mean that's in people's hands. Right,
the pack's been created.
Yeah, so they have that behind. So there's still a lot that aren't out. The other thing why I haven't been too worried about looking at mine just yet is because I wasn't in the first iteration of beta. So right now, last week they released week 13. I didn't have those packs, so any players that were in those packs, they've been released the whole time in my pack. So I hadn't been paying attention too much to that. So that's where you might, if you got packs a little later, and you're wondering, oh, like, they're pretty steady right now. Well, it might be because the next like wave of those packs where those moments are in hasn't hit yet. So just be careful, kind of.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. Every time more, I mean, it's the same thing that we've seen in Top Shot. Every time packs come out, the price goes down a little bit. But I do think, we don't really know anything with All Day, right? We don't know where they're going. Yeah. So any advice you get, whether here or anywhere else, is people blindly throwing darts. So keep that in mind.
Like some people have asked me, like, oh, are you going to make all day content and stuff? I was like, there's nothing to make right now.
Right.
And I haven't like spent too much time like studying the market or anything because there's nothing to study yet. And like, they haven't added any gamification. Like they threw those badges together. It seemed kind of like last minute. I don't know. Like, what do you think? Do you think those look nice? I don't know.
No, I don't. But I did like how everybody was upset about it. They were like, it's not pretty enough, which I did think was funny.
Well, it's not even like that they're pretty or not. It's like they all look the same.
They do all look the same.
Like, can we get a little color just so like you can just like I have to like hover over it every time to check like what it was. And I forgot who it was, but I was like, oh, sweet, Top Shot debut. And I was like, oh no, it's just championship.
Yeah. I was having I forget what I was looking at, but it wasn't even popping up when I was hovering over it. And then I really was getting ready to throw the computer, where I was like, why can't I was like right clicking. I was trying everything I could to make that work.
Right click and save. That's
right click and save, dude. I own the entire set. I own the entire set on All Day. You know what? One thing I don't own a single thing of now. UFC Strike. I sold every single UFC Strike moment I have.
I think I did too yesterday.
Yeah, I think, and Jeb kind of called it too. Like if you weren't going after that Izzy, which ends today, it seems like everything is going to come way back down before it comes back up. So
that's an interesting way to do a challenge.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that.
Can you imagine like if they did it in like David said cowards? I know. Well, listen, I'm stacking Dapper. We're stacking Dapper right now. But yeah, can you imagine if they did a Top Shot challenge like that? They're like, hey, if you spend $1,000, we'll give you a LeBron. Like I mean, that just feels such an artificial pump. I guess you could argue that challenges are artificial pumps anyways, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it just felt weird.
But like with that too is like right now, like if you did that, I feel like I don't know. Yeah, I guess $1,000 would push the needle on Top Shot, but like because it's such an early marketplace, I think it like encourages a lot. But like I think that's the worst thing for an early marketplace because like now like the price discovery is just even further off. Like
right, it's going to take
it's going to take a long time for a new market to find price discovery, and now it's just like, well, let's just make sure it doesn't get there any sooner.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I think it's going to take a little bit. It's just going to take a while. But I don't think they care about that. I'll be honest. I don't think they care. I will say though, if you are getting the Izzy, I mean, I just wouldn't check the market anymore. Like I would just lock those in. Like, hey, these are my moments.
I also assume like you're a decent UFC fan. If like and then like if you're like, oh, this is going to be a good thing. Like UFC seems to be like pretty behind the product, the fighters at least, and everything. So like. I mean, it's a pretty like up and coming sport in general. So if you're a big UFC person, then like, I don't know, it's kind of like a nice little like cherry on top if you were already going to like, scoop a bunch of moments or whatever.
Right.
I'm just not a big UFC guy. So
yeah, no, same. Peterman says, don't you think they did it to encourage those who receive Dapper back from the drops to keep it in Strike? Maybe. But I still think it is going to take a little while to figure out where stuff's going to land. Like, I don't know if these moments are supposed to be $4 that are $4 or if the moments that are $90 or nothing's $90. The moments that are like $60 shouldn't be $60.
What are the most expensive moments on there? Like, because they're all commons, right?
No, there's some legendaries on there as well. Here, I'll pull it up. I believe the Kazmat was like 60 something yesterday. So let me pull up the marketplace right here.
That was for the legendary?
No. That was like the most expensive common. So if we go, let's just search by lowest ask, and here we go. So we're seeing a $5 floor with these ones. Now these are all of the contenders, so these are considered like commons, right? And then we creep up to $9. Let's see, I want to see where it's settled at here. All right, so Pimby's at 34. It was at 50. Yeah. Oh, 87. So listen, it looks like UFC had a nice little bump yesterday too, which I'm imagining. Yeah, he's up to 85 now. I'm imagining it was people like last minute trying to snag that reward, right?
Yeah, I think I sold 2 for $5 and 2 for $17 yesterday.
There you go. Yeah,
which
I think
was my free pack, right?
Yep, that's exactly what it was. I sold 30 moments yesterday. I think actually, I want to see if I have anything left. It says, I have 1 moment left. I have 1 moment left that's listed at $6.
To remember the good times.
To remember the good, yeah, never forget. And I'm not even out on it. Like, I just think if I wasn't going for that reward, it feels like the prices are going to come down once that marketplace spend is over. And I'd rather just get it on discount, you know?
There's also people were talking about, I think it might have been Jeb again, was talking about how like it's different from a like predictive standpoint because like a fighter wins or loses, like, and there's no other like different outcomes or whatever, and that there was like a pump on a fighter that won or anything. So it's like kind of like interesting from like a speculative thing, is that like it might be even more tied to the sport than others because like it's an event that builds up, the event happens, you win or you lose, and then like you move on. It's not like, oh, they're playing better, like they're jabbing better these days, he's doing good against you. It's like, nah, he won or lost. Like
right. Like JC Dynasty, thank you. If you were in the marketplace yesterday, I appreciate. I'm glad we were able to help each other out. All right, let's pivot to Top Shot a little bit. I know I saw a question about from Veronica, which here we go. Did you see the NBA Top Shot survey on Twitter? It almost felt like these packs were here to stay. Scary stuff. I think we can also add like Jacob's comments on a stream on Friday or Thursday night. And just based on like the general sentiment or how Top Shot's been responding to stuff, it does feel like there's going to be that these are going to be here for a little bit. I don't know if they're going to be the only way to do it, but it does feel like these are going to exist. These aren't going away.
I think like they've always wanted it to be this way.
Yeah.
And I think that they're definitely good. I think they're going to actually be like the majority of the packs. It's just, it doesn't mean that they're going to be $19 and $49 and these are the percentages. Like, I don't know, eventually they're going to have to like figure out what they're doing with base packs, right? Like they can't have like these non-common, like they have only so many of those drops and they're going to want like more base packs out there. So like, I think we need to get used to the fact, but I think also what we kind of overlook is that eventually like standard packs, we're going to have more losers too.
Right.
And we're not used to that. And what I think the biggest mistake they did with this is that they basically like went from 0 to 100. They just were like, okay, if we did like the perfect percentages for these packs of like healthy, it's like, this is what it would be. And this is maybe these are perfect percentages, right? Like for like long-term market, everything. But we took a user base that is used to every pack drop being good. And we just went, all right, we're going to go to the max. So like they could have maybe like eased into it and it's be like, oh, now like 20% of you losing. Oh, we're a little used to it now 30%. Yeah. And I think that's maybe where they like made their biggest mistake. But like, if you like it, like we can't have all winter packs or
no.
It's just not sustainable. But like, I think they just went too far and they might've like crunched some amazing numbers and everything. And like, this is where they need to end up, but they went from like, I don't know. I think they just like dove off the deep end.
Yeah, it's funny. So Kelsey was away this weekend at a bachelorette party, not her own, but another one. And when she came back, the first thing we did was talk Top Shot. That's not true. I waited a little bit, but she's someone who is active in Top Shot, but not like trying to get like she'll line up for packs when they happen. And she's collected the WNBA set, and she's a hoops fan, but is also not like grinding the collector score. And so we were talking about it, and she is not in it every day. Was like, oh, this makes sense. Like these packs make way more sense. Like you're going to get way more new people in this way. It's like, you're not just because you're in there every day, you shouldn't be guaranteed a W every day, which like a lot of good points. And I do think it does provide more of an incentive for new people to get in because you have a shot at some of these, legendary or rare moments. But my biggest thing that I would like, that I'm curious how they're going to handle is the collector score thing, because if they, and I said this on Friday, if they told us exactly what we needed to do in order to like play this Top Shot game, and then they were like, hey, like you can still do that, but now it's different. I think is a little alarming. And I know, like, so Jacob basically was like, here's the value in these, like, we value these $49 packs as a really good value, so your collector score allows you to buy more of them. And it's like, okay, but we thought the collector score was a Q related thing. And then Dumbo saying like maybe people have over leveraged themselves a little bit with collector score. That is like vom.
Man, that like they literally told us. And like I saw a point brought up by someone on Twitter, and they're saying like, you know, like I don't mind this collector score thing because people that collected series 1 and rares got like, you know, got rugged in their value. But like my argument is that like Top Shot didn't say these things are going to give you collector score.
Right.
And now, oh, here's
Just
series
kidding.
2 that has more. No, like you told us this is what it is for. And like the reason collector score was to get rid of rent seekers, right? And part of the reason they had rent seekers is because they didn't have mixed packs.
Right.
And now that they brought in mixed packs, they're like, oh, we can just get rid of collector score. But like you told us this is something.
Yeah.
So like I think the biggest thing is that they need to make those elite packs like way better than the standard packs. And if they were to do that by lowering the price, changing the odds, whatever it is, that makes those way more appealing. And yes, those you might get like rent seeking happening, but the only way to get into those is having a collector score, which like cancels out some of the rent seeking. So the fact that I think probably 75% of people, and I'm probably being generous with that, it might be even higher, got as many packs as they wanted, regardless of their collector score, means that it was pretty useless collector score for those.
Right. Because you could have just kept getting in line.
Because so all you did was save time. And we only are saving time because they haven't figured out the queue that they promised would be better.
Right. And I would argue too that these packs bring back rent-seeking behavior unintentionally, because you spend $19 and you hit a legendary, and the floor on legendaries say is 2,000, but you're like, I just spent $19. What if I just undercut this by like $150? And then I'm still getting, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it almost incentivizes that in general. I don't know.
And then there's the whole like getting my, like, if I have to like buy 20 packs to get this, I didn't really spend $19, right? I spent, you know, whatever, however many you ended up buying. If you just got lucky off one, that's great. But like also when you get down to the rares, it's like you're not profiting. Like you might just be recouping losses. And people, and like if you look at the first blog they wrote about these mixed packs, like a new type of packs, blah, blah, blah. One of the things they wrote, and one of the reasons they want to do this is to slowly release rare and legendaries, so that their prices are more stable and they don't flood the market with them. But I don't like, if you really like, I'm going to look into this data a little more, but the rares especially have been absolutely slaughtered by this because people are recouping and people just don't care about them. Like we get these drops, like no one cared about the MGLs or hollows compared to like earlier in the year. Like no one talked about how they were awesome plays or anything like that. Like I'm sure people took advantage of it that are like in the MGLE challenge streets because like there's so many different things going on that like I'm sure people were like, wow, like this is like, you know, $500 cheaper than I usually did, and it's for a Giannis.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with the All-Star game stuff, right? Like I went out and collected them all because I was like, this is going to be a pretty cheap LeBron. Yeah, I don't really know the answer to it because I do wonder, and like if we're being fair and critical in the right way, I do wonder if this just sped up something that was going to happen regardless. Like I do wonder if even if we had like the normal queues, if the rare drops would still garner these prices. Because a combination of things, right? Like with everything that's happening in the world, with just like the market dipping in general, like I do wonder if this just sped up the process. But
yeah, but I think it would be less in the rare and legendary, and we'd see it more in like the overall like common market and stuff like that. But the difference being is that like people didn't like base packs, people didn't have as much expectations.
Right.
Whereas people have pretty high expectations because they just assume that they won't be a loser. Whereas a base pack, I think people were like, yeah, they're hoping for 4Ks and stuff. But like, I think people would have left those alone a little sooner.
Yeah.
If we had done a couple more base pack drops and there was less 4K rookies and everything. but I think it's a price point thing too. And it's like change the odds. I'm not saying like change the odds so they're worse, but like I don't know, $20 for the cheapest pack on the price on the site. I don't think that's sustainable.
Right.
For
Well,
like
and that's
an everyday person.
I said this yesterday on Jeb's 6-hour spaces that he did for his 1-year anniversary. Like the argument of having all these moments is that if a new user comes in, there's a cheap entry point, right? But it is kind of funny. Like, so yeah, you could go get a $2 Giannis or whatever, or $3 Giannis, which is exciting. But why is it? I mean, I get it. I get why that's supposed to happen. But then that you also have the opportunity to buy a pack and immediately lose $16. Do you know what I mean? So like it's a cheap entry point, but also like a very quick way to lose. So I feel like there's a middle ground here. And I think you brought this up a little bit already. And then even in our offline discussions about how like I think like if the prices on these were 29 and 14, or even like 39 and 14. I just feel like the sentiment would still probably be a little bit frustrated, but it's different. I don't know. The $49, the $49 and the $19 is just, it's tough. I think
like a lot of it has to do, I think, with like how much the worst pack, how much you lose on that is. Versus like, yes, like EV can be something. And like, if you look at the standard versus the elite have better EV, like percentage wise and like everything like that. But you also, depending on which common or like which, rising star you pulled, you could lose a lot more in one pack. And like,
well,
you can talk percentage wise and that it's not as bad and everything, but like, that's not how people's brains work. Like,
and I don't think a lot of people understand EV, and like EV only works as if you're going #max packs. And even then it's still probably going to be an L in a lot of those cases, because it's the under like 1.5% that's going to pay off. Because even when you do hit the rare, if you bought 5 packs and hit one rare, like that's probably maybe break even. Actually, no, it's not. That's probably not break even.
The All-Stars, you probably were okay, but
not if you got Andrew Wiggins, baby. So I do think I want to do two things. I want someone to do a masterclass on EV, and then everyone is required to watch it before tweeting it. Because those are my favorite tweets. Like, actually though, if you remove the legendaries, those are pretty minus EV, and it's like, no shit. Like that,
but also not like a lot of like some of those legendaries only like move the needle $1 on EV.
Yeah,
because the percentage is so low. So like, I don't know, like maybe you remove legendaries. Like if you took legendaries out, the EV of these packs wouldn't change tremendously.
Yeah.
The elite ones probably would a little more.
Right.
But like we're talking such a low percentage of legendaries in the standards that it wouldn't change things as much. So like, I don't know. And then maybe you gate those and that's collector score. I'm sure, I think I read that someone suggesting that. But my biggest thing with like the collector score thing is like, we can't make it more complicated. So like I've seen some ideas of like, oh, based on your collector score, that your price structure changes and like, oh, this is like, we can't get more complicated. They already made it too complicated. And that's maybe why they're shying away from it right now and like causing this problem. But like, so like things that they can do, like collector score, like they told us in like Roham said in his AMA, like collector score was going to be rewarded somehow. They said team leaderboards were going to be like, and the one they made with live tokens using collector score. But like, if it's just like you can get into the elite pack and buy more packs at once, and the elite packs stay at these prices, it's going to be devalued tremendously.
Yeah. And I'm very curious how they're going to respond. And I'm sure they'll respond by having 19 different people go on 19 different shows to say 19 different things, since that seems to be the Dapper way, which again, I like that. Two things, you like the collector score thing is an issue if they have changed it. Like if they are changing what the rules are around the thing that they told us what it was, then that's a problem. Like we're allowed to get mad at that. I know I'm usually the police on when we can get mad and when we can't get mad, but like,
go nuts, people. He's
right. No, truly, this is because my biggest thing, and I've said this so many times, like if you set your own expectations in your head and then you get mad that somebody else didn't meet them, that's on you. That's your fault. And that's therapy. Like that, work that shit out. But like when someone else sets the expectations and then you meet them and then they change them without actually communicating it, except just taking more money from you, and then you find out after the fact, then I think you could be bullshit. Like that's a reason to be upset. So if they do that, that's a problem. But like, dear Dapper, please stop sending people on shows. Like I know this will hurt. And you know what? It won't hurt me because I don't bring people on anyways because I know they're not gonna say anything important. Actually, that's not true. Now they do say important things.
But it's not enough. Like but like look how like those little tidbits happen different like spaces here, a stream there.
Yeah.
But none of them really have like broken out being like, holy shit, people, it's like, oh, they kind of said something. They kind of said something similar, but
right.
Like taking a step further, but like none of them like blew up Twitter. None of them changed anything in the market. I would argue like,
no,
like, whereas like in the past when they said something like, like things would start, people would start reacting. So like, I don't know. They're not like, and that's the same thing as like, I've had Jacob on like once, I liked having Austin on because it's not like talking about like market stuff. It's talking about like the product and like, like how you choose stuff like that. But like, I haven't reached out to Jacob to have him on again because like, I'm like what? I'm going to try to do the I gotcha thing.
Right.
Or it's just going to be like him, like basically, giving a little bit without saying too much or like being like, I can't really answer that. And it's like, well, like this is boring.
Well, it's not helpful. It's not helpful.
Yeah.
And like, I just don't understand. I don't understand how this like continues to happen. Like, how do you not have somebody in charge of this to be like, hey guys, don't go on shows, or like only one person goes on shows, or here are the sentences you're allowed to say on shows, Like Dustin was bringing that up on Friday. You get a PR training. See, like they need to know exactly what they're supposed to say when they get out there. And those, again, these aren't individual shots on Dumbo or Jacob or Austin or Brandon or anybody that's going on shows. But like, good Lord, how is it?
I think they actually do it with good intention, right? Like
100%.
The point is to be accessible and all this.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that when like we're sending mixed messages or like giving out some sort of important information, but like no one knows where to go get that, right?
Right.
Like they go on them and they don't like announce it necessarily, right? Like so if like high up Top Shot employees going on to give information on a stream, but then like if you aren't watching that stream or you don't follow that person, you have no idea they went there. Like, and there's no like, oh, hey, like, by the way, I'm going on this, or like Top Shot tweets out like they're going on this to talk about collector score in the future.
Right.
Like that's where also it's kind of like,
yeah, there's no information before or after, right? There's no like, oh, go check out the blog post about like what I just referenced here. It's just kind of like, hey, good luck. And hopefully Twitter gets mad enough that we now have to issue out information. Top Shot Tesla said, I think the early users are not going to be catered to for the foreseeable future. Dapper needs to onboard new users, even if it means large groups. Yeah, I think this is true. And that's why, like, I do think these 49 and, or these blended type packs are here to stay, which I do. Again, I don't think that's the worst thing. The worst thing, though, I think, is when you like if they knew these were coming, just let us know ahead of time. Be like, hey guys, I know you were grinding collector score to get into the priority queue. We're only going to have one more priority queue this year, so like, don't worry about it.
Like they also like they try to not give too many communications that are going to have like a direct effect on the market. But like when you're changing the game a little bit, that's where like I'm bothered. And like part of it is like I'm bothered that I told people how to build their collector score and stuff. Like I put out videos telling people how to do that. And like people would DM me all the time. Like, I want to get to this number, blah, blah, blah. And I think the last DM I got about it was before the mix packs. And someone was like, I want to get up to like this number, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just happy that my advice was like, you might want to see like what happens after all these mix packs.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is an experiment. If they love it, then like, I don't know, like what number you want to get to. And that wasn't me saying you might not need collector score. It might be useless. It was like, I just don't know what number to tell you. So but like, that's what kind of like worries me is that like, I don't know, they push this, but the other thing I was saying, like I was going to do a thread on these mix packs and everything. And then I saw that like, everyone and their dog was doing threads. So it's like, I don't think this is what the space needs right now. And this was before the collector score stuff kind of came up too. But like, I was going to end it with basically like, Top Shot can be as successful as you think it's going to be, and the current users not benefit from that. Like they
True.
can be an extremely successful company and our accounts not all go up. Now, I think if our accounts tank, they're going to be taking like 10 steps backwards.
Right.
But it does not mean that they can't make those steps up in the future. So I think we have like a perception that like everyone's going to profit a ton because we're here now. And like that's not necessarily the case. And it's tough to hear for a lot of people, especially people that, you know, like were in there, like that pumped in that money, you know, in the worst times, like 9 months ago or now like almost a year ago. But like that's where I'm just like, I'm worried of the sentiment because also like if you're onboarding new users and they come into this community that's just like outraged, like that's going to take longer to onboard new users. So like they do have to like balance that. But I think it's shifting towards like the new user is going to maybe have an advantage over you, or like you feel like they have an advantage because you have no advantage from being early.
Right. Which again, you know, it kind of goes back to what we've said too, like we only complain when it affects our bags. However, I will say like this is not affecting like one person. This isn't affecting Raptors set holders when a legendary comes out. This is affecting like everybody who's on the platform so far. But yeah, and I think this is a great point, Tesla. He says, look how difficult it was trying to explain collector score to Merce when he was on. It's a snapshot of how struggle the new. Yeah, because it's like, why do I have to collect 72 Nasir Littles in order to qualify for this drop? And I agree. I think, like, and you said this too, TST, like it's confusing as hell.
But that's where like the standard pack like if you have standard packs that have rare and legendaries, they could feel, well, I can buy this pack. And then if there is that elite pack that is like gated by collector score and is way better, like that's the difference, is that like right now some would argue the elite pack's worse, some people can argue that it's better, depending on what type of numbers you want to use, risk factor, how many you're buying, all that stuff. You can make an argument, but it's not clearly better, and it needs to be clearly better for collector score to matter.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be really interesting to see how like the market reacts to this in the next couple, because I do think at some point, like I know Dumbo set up the survey, which I guarantee you wasn't happening until everyone lost their shit, right? Like there's no way.
Well, not that they would never have surveys, but they weren't putting one necessarily out about this.
Right. It was in response to that, and then also what was happening on Twitter Friday afternoon. But yeah, I'm fascinated to see what's going to happen. It's funny because they're like Series 1 when everybody, well, not everybody, but when a lot of us joined, everyone was like, wow, Series 1, man, that's where the real money is. That's where you have to go get. And then they introduced collector score and they were like, actually Series 1 is dead. Let's go. Everybody collect Series 2. And that was true until this week. And now it's almost like shifting again. It's like, I don't know, maybe we go back to Series 1 now because people will just be excited to get those. And Big Ticket said the marketplace has been dead all weekend. They have to see that. Yeah, it has been quiet. And I know Patrick Mahomans tweeted out something that was just like, look, the challenge didn't work again this weekend or something like that. I'm not ready to freak out about the flash challenges yet, because I think when they're going to be for these metallic silver fandom editions and they're easy, right? Like if you know there's 22,000 Fred Van Fleets coming out in the next metallic silver fandom edition moment, I don't know if I'm like, do I need to spend $30 to get a $6 moment? You know?
Yeah, it's funny because like, I don't know, like so many people are complaining about bottlenecks, and now people are complaining that there's too many 60Ks. Like I had said from the beginning is that like these easy ones are going to become super easy.
Yeah.
Like, because like all the players are going to have multiple moments that are like higher. And then like they're going to make the medium more difficult somehow. Like they're going to use different things. Like the flash challenge is almost like the least of my worries, because you can like play with that so often. And the thing about flash challenges is like, they can set up the perfect flash challenge, but if something wacky happens in the NBA, then like, you know, and like, that's what's cool about them, is that it like depends on that. So like, that's where I have a hard time complaining about like what happened after the fact for flash challenge. No. They choose these things like ahead of time. Like they don't know so-and-so is going to go off, or everyone, all the like favorites are going to win. So they have like $2 moments or whatever. So the flash challenges, like it's more like fatigue, I think, than anything.
I think that's what it is too. I just wish they would do an easy one and a hard one every day. If you don't want to do the easy one, don't do it. And if you don't want to do the hard one, then don't do it. But like, then you'll still have some people sweating it out a little bit if there's hard ones. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm fascinated. I'm a little bit, what's the word? I'm a little bit more cautious right now. My brain feels a little bit more cautious towards Top Shot and Dapper than it did probably since like last spring. I think this is the first time where I feel a little bit more. I'm not like panic selling or anything like that. I just am not buying, and I'm sitting on like some Dapper, and I'm a degenerate. So like anytime money comes in there, I'm like, oh, I got to make these 3 moves, and I'm not. I've been sitting on it now. I almost like 3 weeks. I've been sitting and like continuing to add to it. And I just don't know what to do. Like, cause I don't feel confident that any of these prices are going to hold right now
Yeah,
until we get more information anyways.
if anyone's looking to like buy or they watch things, I wouldn't look at anything until after Thursday, because there's nothing that like they have said nothing that points me in the direction that we're not just going to continue in the same direction we are until that backdrop is over. Like they would have to really change the structure of it to get people's sentiment changed on this. And they might do that after like they break down all this experiment and everything. But before that, like I assume it's going to be a similar price point and similar odds. It's just like, oh, here's a new set. Here's a new common set, whatever it is.
And let's run it back again.
Mike, the other thing will be actually interesting to see is like all these people saying that they won't buy packs if it's the same.
Right.
Whether or not they do.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'll be curious to see what the pack purchasing looks like. I think waterfall production. Now, this is what I want to know. Is this a production studio? Are you creating stuff? Do you produce waterfalls? Like, what is it? What is it specifically? Do you know what I mean? And don't be scared that markets that are down. We're at the floor. I think we might have a little bit more ways to go before we are officially at the floor. And listen, that's again here. We haven't done a video drop in a while. You want a little financial, non-financial advice? Here, we'll give you a little something. Where is it? None of this is financial advice. Do what you love what you do, something like that, right? Yeah, I'm just pumping the brakes. I'm not saying I'm out. I'm just saying I'm gonna wait a little bit more. We have a series 1 drop today, which you're 500 times 4, 2,000 more series 1 moments coming into the marketplace. I don't think that's going to kill anything, but I'm sure we see a little bit of a dip because of that. And then I want to see what happens on Thursday when everyone else spends money again. So also, John says Mike just wants to rant about collector score to avoid talking about the Celtics. Listen, we're not going to go do a deep dive into hoops right now, but I will say shout out the Indiana Pacers who beat the shit out of the Celtics yesterday, John. If that makes you feel good, I know you're only allowed to celebrate 4 times a year in Indiana, so I'm glad you were able to get one today. Congratulations to John and the state of Indiana. But talking about possibly being at the bottom in the middle of the season is concerning. Yeah, I mean, yes, but this happened last year. This happened last year too, though, right? Like right around All-Star weekend, everything tanked, and then we stayed low. We stayed low until what? Till the finals?
Yeah, I don't think you can compare like this All-Star weekend to last.
No,
like that was like the insane undersupply bubble bursting,
right?
And
right.
I guess it didn't burst. It like we poked some air in it, and it slowly let out for 4 months. But I think you could like start to compare like I don't know, like the start of the playoffs time. Like there we had like done the like that was like, you know, throwdowns and everything had happened and all that. That was like when people were like, oh shit, they're just putting up more 40Ks and everything like that.
Yeah.
I think that's more a comparable time. And if you want to like start looking at like the playoff comparison, I think you can make an argument there that there might be parallels.
It does make me wonder too, like if we pivot a little bit and talk about like set completion, right? Because one of the benefits to completing these sets was airdrops, right? And can you justify? So say, because one of the things I've been looking at doing is buying that, and then there were 4 set, because I'm like I like a lot of the players in that set. I like the Suns, I like the Bucks. There were good moments in there, Trey's in there.
It was it was like 2 good conference finals.
Right. And unfortunately, you'd have to buy Pat Beverly, but like if you don't pretend that didn't happen, it's fine. But part of the reason that was exciting is I was like, oh, I love that. There's some really enticing playoff matchups. I would love to get airdropped and then there were 4-pack if they do that again. But now, instead of getting an and then there were 4-pack, did they just drop 3 or 4 elite packs?
Yeah, probably.
And then do I want to spend somewhere between $25 and $3,000, $2,500 and $3,000 to get 3 elite packs?
Yeah. And like also that set, right? Like part of like the sets are all inflated because of
Mhm.
that old thought process.
Right.
So are they going to still leak out? Like I was going to go after the WNBA full set, and that Asia Wilson was just like a thorn in my ass, and like I was just
Mhm.
like, I don't know if I want to do this. The circulating count still worries me. What's going to happen? All this stuff, and then part of the reason was like the collector's core bump. But now,
Yeah.
if that is like, so I can like, if that is useless to me, then I might still complete the set and just not get Asia Wilson,
Right.
because like the other reason is like I think WNBA, they start doing flash challenges eventually, not at the same
Mhm.
extent as NBA, but they'll do a couple of them. It's all these top shot debuts, all these other reasons. But like I might just not buy that Asia Wilson to not complete it. Now, is that a good move? No, because probably like a couple airdrops, it's worth it because it's not.
Right.
We're not talking $1,000. We're talking a couple hundred. But like th- now I'm putting that on pause because I want to see how they like play this collector score thing. And it like worries me a bit, but like it also means like, okay, so maybe they think collector score only matters for like team stuff. Well, then I should just be investing all that money in my Raptors.
Mhm.
If like that's the one way, like, because that's how they can kind of be like that's how they might try to justify, like, okay, yeah, maybe it isn't, like they'll say, okay, elite packs, it gives you more, you can buy more if you want more, and then they'll be like, and we have team leaderboards. But like if people didn't collect their favorite team because it wasn't efficient, or they don't have a favorite team, then it's not as useful for everyone.
Right.
And people might look at those leaderboards and be like, well, there's no way I touch any of those people ever. Like they're just so
Right.
far ahead. Like, what am I chasing now? So like there'll be ways that maybe they try to backtrack a little bit, and it's not guaranteed to actually like work.
No, God, the more I'm talking about this, the more bummed I'm getting. Um, truly, like
I'm
I
glad
am.
I could come on this morning and give you a
I
nice
know.
Monday morning.
I know. And you know what? I honestly wasn't even going to do too much of a deep dive on this stuff because I was going to just talk about hoops for most of it. Um, but I think it's important. I think it's important to talk about because I do think, I mean, and everybody gets pissed when we say hashtag max packs. So also, and those of you might not know this, but TST was a max paxer. Like he doesn't like to say it publicly, but he's hashtag max packs. So,
Well,
um,
I'll say I didn't max out though.
that's because you were working though. You were busy. Like you couldn't get
Yeah,
in line.
I was coaching.
Yeah. And Borland's brings up a good point too. There's a difference between collecting your favorite team and stacking player moments just to help your collector score. Right. There is, but like that, we were told like you needed to do it. That you needed to. I mean, that's why I wasn't gonna go buy a $2,000 Kelly Olynyk, so I completed the Nugget set instead.
Yeah.
Um,
Eric Fernandez has a good comment here too.
TST here to walk us all to the cliff. I know. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens over the next couple of days and the information that's shared and what is done to like regain some of the sentiment. And I go back and forth. Like I go back and forth because I don't want to be out here being like they owe us. I don't know if they owe us anything. But I do think if they are changing like the core as to how we were supposed to play this game, then I do think that's a little bit problematic. And it also it really does make me nervous that God, I want to say this without being like controversial. I just don't know how much I trust leadership right now. And we're seeing that in ways that are, they're like tiny little cracks, right? So like what we're seeing with people, yeah, oh my God, TJ says, is this the morning marketplace? Well done, TJ. Well done. Shout out Larry Bird. But and this isn't directed at individuals, but it's more of like that the same issue continues to keep like it continues happening. And then we have conversations like this. Like, why is someone going on someone's show? Why are they saying like a little bit without more information coming up? It just makes me a little bit nervous that no one really has their hand on the pulse, or that like everyone, I'm trying to like come up with a good analogy for this, but like, maybe it comes back to education. I know you're in the education world, but like it's like when a fire alarm goes off, that's not a fire drill. So like you're like, okay, we're like scrambling a little bit, and you have a bunch of people giving out instructions, but maybe not all the same instruction, right? They're just like, we just need to get them 30 feet away from the building. So it's okay if we don't go to our designated spot. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of what it feels like right now, that the fire alarm's going off and everyone's giving us different directions without anyone giving us clear directions.
Yeah, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Oh God, that was way more efficient than what I said. It was way more efficient than what I said, but I think mine's a little bit more fun.
No, and yours is better, really. Yours is better. It just took you a little longer to get there.
Yeah.
But like, and I don't think it's like it's not that I don't trust like the leadership or the people like in what their job is.
Right.
Where I do think that sometimes they're a little disconnected with like what their decision the effects their decisions will have on the current user base. And it's like either one of like two things. It's either they're not like, they don't have their hand on the pulse as much as they should, or they do and they like are okay with them taking hits for the long-term gain.
Right.
And whether that is like the right move or not can be debated. And they're never going to say that publicly, right? Like, because that'd be insane to do.
Yeah. Fuck them kids.
Yeah. Fuck them kids. We need them new kids. But like, you know, and it's always like, I don't know. It's tough because they're always going to be playing this juggling game of like helping the current users versus the new users.
Right, because it can't be all reward old users, because then there's no reason for new users to come in. And that's why, again, I'm not opposed to change. I'm not opposed to change. Like, they've done it before, right? So I'm not opposed to change, but I am opposed to. I want to stress too that my comments about like not trusting leadership is less about, I don't want people to be like, wow, Zakarian roasted Jacob. It's not Jacob. It's not that. It's more higher level. It's like, I don't believe sometimes, or it's what you said, right? But what I was going to say, like the I don't know if I trust the infrastructure that's been set up organizationally speaking.
So do you think part of it is because they're starting a new company remote?
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
It's like they're all remote working, right? Like, it's
you think if we were in an office, we need them in an office space so they can see each other?
Like like just as in that, like maybe some of the like organization stuff, like they're a pretty flat company, and like maybe that means that like they're onboarding all these employees and everything, but they're like, they've never been in a room. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, like, and it's different from a company that went remote and is onboarding like a couple of people. It's like their almost entire company has been built like remote.
I do love, though. I mean, I like this idea. But I do love, if you wanted to pull one bit from today, be like, we saved Top Shot by getting them in the same building. Okay. That's the only thing broken with Top Shot is Zoom. If Zoom didn't exist, Top Shot would be thriving.
Another COVID problem.
Yeah, another one. I mean, the GM of Top Shot, they announced, is already at a new gig. I mean, dude, the GM stuff is wild too. I keep going back to the fire alarm going off, and I just feel like everyone's yelling things, right? Like, welcome to Top Shot Economist, and then it's like we see one blog post a year, and they're like, the general manager, who I didn't even know there was a general manager that was announced. Like, it's just like a collector's score, legendaries and standard packs, but there's no like infrastructure for any of this. Do you know?
So part of what I need to say about your fire alarm analogy is that not only are like the leaders yelling in every direction, all the kids are also yelling, and they are yelling like,
this is good,
different things. But then it's also that like once a kid hears another kid yell it, they have to yell it,
right?
Like with a slight twist and louder.
Yes.
And then it's like the next one's like, oh, they're yelling about that, I should yell about that as well.
And then if the kids start yelling louder than the adults, then it's like true chaos. And that is what's happening. Twitter is the hallway after the fire alarm goes off. Oh, it's broken. That is, I've been like circling around these thoughts over the course of the last few days of like where I was landing on this, because I do, again, I'm not opposed to change, and like the blended packs I think is something that is ultimately going to be good for Top Shot and for new users. And I get that they have to try it out before it happens, but there's just something. Wait, hold on, Beamer says, I was a teacher 10 years in high school. Someone is always banging in the bathroom. This is Wait, so you're saying the problem with Dapper right now is they're having too much sex in the bathroom?
Remote sex.
That was wild. Beamer, wild. That's a classic Bills fan right there. It's a Buffalo Bills fan. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And that is where I've landed, is that I've just been, because I've grown more and more frustrated about what seems to be like you said, right? It's either incompetence is too strong, but we'll use the word incompetence. It's either that or it's intentional incompetence, which is almost scarier in the sense that they're like, yeah,
no, we can't use that word in both those situations. I'm sorry.
No, but do you know what I'm, okay, so not all right, so not incompetence. It's either incompetence or it's intentional ignorance, intentional ignoring.
No, because honestly, maybe that's the right move. And that's and that's where I think people will have a hard time swallowing it. And again, it goes to the thing is that like, like they can be super successful, more successful than you ever think they're going to be successful. And you will not profit.
You are exit liquidity.
Like, not even like, it's just like, I don't know, your account, like you end up zero, like you end up at neutral.
Yeah.
You win some, you lose some, but you end up at neutral. And like, I don't know, like everyone, like I know like we can't compare it like 1-to-1 and it's not a good thing, but like, let's do this for this simple exercise. Everyone who buys trading cards does not profit.
Yeah. Right.
And I know this is different. And like, I'm not saying it's the same, but it's just like, there parts of these product is entertainment and all these other things. Like it's not just investing. It is a huge part of it. And no one will want to do this if you're just guaranteed to lose money. I 100% agree. But they are looking at it as a company as well. So it's like for there to be winners, some people have to lose as well.
Yeah. Like, I wanted to share. So Plunge said, where's the first comment? I lost the first. I have the perfect solution. They should just hire everyone who's vocal on Top Shot Twitter. And then he said, then those people can't collect and have to be part of the solution to the problems they are commenting on. I do. So I think there's some truth and fun in that. I also laughed because Packrip tweeted out something yesterday that was like, the things you're complaining about. I used to be that. I think he said it like that. I used to complain, and the things you're complaining about, trust me, we know what's going on in the room, and like we're aware of it. It was a little bit better than the way I just said it, but I did think it was funny to then be like, "Don't worry, guys, I got this." We're like, you did that the whole time. Like everyone's gonna do that. So just by you saying like, "Don't worry, guys, we're in the room, everything's under control," I was like, they're still gonna complain, guys. They're still gonna complain. Oh, but man. Wild times in the streets. Wild times in the streets. Anyways, who's lined up for PAX on Thursday?
Okay. Also, one last thing I have to say about like the whole like thing is that like the reason also our market tanks when these like when there's so many loser packs is because no one is putting more money into the platform. Like so many people, like they liquidate in order to buy packs. So it's like these people are like, no, I want other people to come in to put fresh money, but I don't know. And like, look, some people are tapped out. 100% agree. 100% agree. And that like, that's understandable and everything. But it's just that like, obviously long term, like someone has to be paying for these things. And like, until they incentivize holding a lot more than it is now, then you're going to have like a market that's going down a bit, in my opinion.
Right. Oh man. Hold on. When Plunge clarified, or not clarified, he gave us the full quote. I love how passionate the Top Shot community is at proactively offering suggestions to improve the product experience. I used to do it all the time. And then being on the inside, I just want you to know we are literally always thinking about these and building towards them. So there you go. Oh my gosh. And look at all these people who said I deposited 2K, just put in 2K. So people are still dropping 2K bags.
Yeah. And like look, someone that puts that in and goes into the marketplace or whatever, like they might be someone who benefits a long term. But like
Mhm.
what I'm saying is someone that, you know, is only like some people are like might have like hit on a legendary, so they're like free rolling for a long time.
Sure.
But if they're just recycling that like money from the legendary into these packs, well, like until you hit it big again,
Yeah.
then you're just like sucking money out of the marketplace. Like
Yeah.
I until these mix packs, I never liquidated anything to buy a pack.
Wow.
And I would say these mixed packs, the first two, like the Kevin Durant ones, um, it was like credit card. And also like part of it was that pack drops were so much less frequent and you couldn't buy as many
Mhm.
that like that was like how I created my budget. I wouldn't put moments on my credit card, but I would put any pack. And that was
Right.
like kind of how like I kept to like kind of my budget is that like okay if I want to go buy something I got to like liquidate something to buy it,
Yeah.
but a pack is like how I like is creating my budget. And then like these packs I don't know like I would say like half of them I took from my account and half of them I put on my card.
Yeah.
So like there's definitely like part of that is that like I think a lot of people are like I want all these people to like join the platform and put money in, but
Mhm.
a lot of people are also like I'm only going to use what I've like flipped in Top Shot or what I've, done. And I don't think people in like other business type things or whatever would be viewing it the same way, or I don't know, other collectibles would be viewing that the same thing.
Yeah. I think that's right. I also just think that's smart, like budget planning, like to have that idea of how you are going to attack both the marketplace and how you collect and setting those boundaries. I've done something similar where I don't think unless I've like flipped a JPEG, I haven't added any money to Top Shot in like a long time. But I'm way more comfortable flipping stuff. Like I have a handful of things that I'm like, okay, I'm going to hold this forever, and then everything else I will move off of. But I think having some sort of game plan is really sharp. Um, yeah. Wait, let me get not financial advice, but let me get that Amex real quick. Um, yeah. What's everyone's guess on? So I guess we can talk about this for a second, and then we can wrap. Um, I gotta be honest, I'm not like super, I'm not paying attention too much about what's happening with these auctions. And part of the reason is it seems like most of the action is going to come like on the last days, right? I would think. I feel like we're not going to see them. Also, aren't these under the mark? Oh, here we go.
They have their own marketplace.
Yeah. So the Lakers is up to 12K. Let me see. Can you guys see that okay? Yeah. The Lakers one is up to 12K. The Clippers is $300 above the floor. Golden State, it hasn't really been moved. And then this one starts soon, it looks like.
No, it's
Or
already
no,
active.
that's already active. So just no bids on the Suns, no bids on the Kangs. Hornets start today. I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
I think I think that these are probably going to be like some of them are going to be a crazy deal,
Yeah.
and it's going to be really strange um, to kind of see what happens because I don't know, like I guess yeah, you want your team, but
Hmm.
like unless they pull something later like that, like it's actually better to have a different team or whatnot. Um, and there's like it'll be interesting to see is the good deals happening like right at the beginning
Hmm.
or like right at the or like in that middle time because all the people that really want them bought them at the beginning, or is
Yeah.
it going to be the end when like really like maybe the third last one is ending but like everyone's liquidated. But like what I really want to see is like is the NBA going to advertise these more? Because if it's just like kind of on the Top Shot side of things, then like this is a pretty low point for them to be like advertising. Like if these things end up selling for less than 20 grand, like
Are
these are going
you
to be
opening up that credit card?
man, I've looked at my savings and I've like, like if my savings were in US dollars and not Canadian dollars, I would be eyeing these a lot more closely is all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. But like they're like if they're under 20 grand, so if any of them land there, like they're gonna be amazing. Cause like, I don't know, in my mind, it also like say you can't even resell it or you like don't like that's like a pretty good price for what you're
Yeah,
getting out of it as a huge basketball fan. Like that,
that's incredible.
like it's insane.
I think we're going to see it like skyrocket in the last 24 hours. I bet we'll see a lot
Oh
more
yeah,
bids,
but it's more like, will that happen 30 times? Is
right.
more what I'm wondering. Like, is it like, and that it'll be really interesting. And I'm not sure if we'll be able to see like how many people are bidding, or we're just going to
Mhm.
see like, oh, there's a bid for this and then this. Like, is it just 2 people running it up, or is there
Yeah.
like 30 people running this thing up and they're each just going to end up buying one of them?
Everybody gets one. If that's the case, they should have a private little Discord chat and just be like, let's all get these for $10,100. Like everybody gets one if there's only 30. And then you just draw straws for which team you get. I just want to share John's comment because this is a great Tinder swindler reference here. My enemies are out to get me. Please give me your credit card so I can book a flight. I like that we get a Tinder swindler doc reference this morning. I think that's important. Yeah, and that's Plunge says, frankly, it's an indirect way to reward the early Top Shot whales and suck some of their paper gains back into the platform. Yeah, I agree with that, especially because what we heard from Janie in that interview, it seems like they're not trying to market stuff to new people until next season. I mean, that's kind of what it says. Like it's not a good time to do it in the middle of the season, which I mean, I trust that they obviously have a better understanding on how marketing works than this idiot does. But I was just surprised. I was surprised to hear that. But anyways, yeah, I'm not bidding. I can't do that. I can't do that as much as I would like to. I'd be in a lot of trouble. Top Illuminati discords are firing on all cylinders. There we go. Good. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. I think they should be. Fight back. Fight the power. All right, Top Shot Talk. Before we get out of here, I think this is how we have to end. How many packs are you buying on Thursday, if any?
I got to see what they are first, but I'm minimum, I would say I'm buying at least 3 standard and 1 or 2 elite. And I will say that 3/4 of those are purely for content.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too. I think I'll probably go through the queue one time for each. One time for each. I think that's what I'll do.
But who knows? We get a different price point. Things could change.
Imagine if they came out and they're like, "Hey, we heard you. Elite pack. I mean, standard packs are going to cost $1.
No, $9, like the base pack.
I would like that. 9 and 25. 9 and 25. How about that?
Yeah.
Give everybody. This is going to be just like when they did the hollow packs for $200 after everybody just got boned for like 2 months on Top Shot. That's the only time well, no, that's not true. The Deck the Hoops pack drop, I tilted pretty hard when I was like the second to last person to not get one. That really hurt.
I got a hollow in that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was 270 packs, and I think I was 272.
On the hollow one too?
No, on that hollow one, no, I whiffed hard. But that's the only time I
Okay.
was like furious. Like I really was upset because I was like, this is gonna be such a clear W. And it wasn't. It was an L for me, anyways. Oh my God. Anyways, good times. Listen. I hope everybody starts drinking at 10:30 this morning because after today's morning MOURNING marketplace, you know what I'm saying?
Don't tempt me, might come off.
That's right. This is where the hell am I? I just got here. I thought this was Max Packs. My bad. Yeah, we're taking a break. Like we still have Max Packs energy. We just might not go Max Packs in the marketplace.
Until Wednesday night when John says.
Yeah. If John Boy Beats, the market mover himself tweets out like, hey, it's plus EV. We're smashing and maxing. I do think though, like, again, this is a pretty reactionary show off of like what's been happening over the last like 2 weeks. And again, I'm more pissed about infrastructure and communication than anything else, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not out. Top Shot isn't really dead, even though Top Shot Tony claimed that on Friday during his spaces. I just think I'm looking with a little bit more of a watchful eye instead of blindly taking shots in the marketplace. Rock and Roll said, are you doing a series 1 pack today? Pack drop today? We're not doing a show for it. No, we're not doing a show. 89 Cavs is back tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Steve and Justin return. And if I get one, I'll probably rip it then. But no series 1. I can't do 3 shows today. If I start off the week with a 3-show day, we're in for a long week. So we're not doing it. Should have done this entire show as Top Shot Tony. I thought they were saying as that. I think we have to do you need to do a cease and desist on Top Shot Tony? People referring to him as TST.
I think it kind of like comes full circle because you guys were Top Shot takes when you guys first started. So, and I was like, and when I created the channel, I think you guys were a couple weeks before me. I hadn't seen yours yet. I was like, oh shit, there's another TST, and then you guys changed to Team Old, and I was like, perfect.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Anything you need to plug? Anything coming up this week you want to get the word out on?
Yeah. The last thing I need to plug is let's get rid of the shadow on pack openings. That's all I want these days. Don't even watch any of my stuff. Just, let's beat that drum, get rid of the shadow. That's the real problem with these mixed packs. Yeah. If you're going to tag Roham about one thing this week, it's about the shadows in the standard packs. I never want to get excited and then see, LE out of 9999. Never again. Never again. Get rid of the shadow. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming on, man. Enjoy your spring break in February. And looking forward to Max and Paxton on Thursday. Let's go. All right. See you. See you, man. Well, the Top Shot streets are a dangerous place, so you